The Illinois Department of Agriculture lifts a temporary suspension on buying or selling poultry at exhibitions, flea markets, or auctions. The suspension was put in place in February because of the ongoing threat of the avian flu. The virus can infect poultry, wild birds, and in some cases could be fatal. IDOA state veteran Dr. Mark Ernst said they have closely monitored the virus threat and they feel it is safe to resume poultry exhibition and sales.